it's Holly here from Your Past is a Gift. Okay, so my intention, which I've mentioned in quite a few videos now, is not for you to rely on my videos. Okay, you can watch them many, many times. You know, as a piano teacher, I have the same philosophy, the same idea. I try and give my students all the tools as early as possible, as quickly as possible, that they can enjoy their own music. They don't have to rely on me every single time to put a piece together. You know, they can have the tools, the knowledge, everything they need to become independent in their own way. You know, that they can start to enjoy things without me having to always show them how to do it. Because there's something wonderful in that. You know, when you discover how to do things for yourself, you know, and you finally have the skills, it's wonderful. You know, so there's enough videos here. There's almost one video per day. I'm aiming to get the 365 videos up. So then you have one per day. One. And then just watch it. Listen to it. Take notes, take the ideas, take the tools and the skills that I'm giving you to live a meaningful life, to live a life of connection and not be always dependent on what I have to say, or I haven't, you know, what I have or haven't got to say, but to learn to think yourself. And then, you know, many times I find I'll be talking to people. I'll be at a park, like one of my greatest gifts was at a park talking to a random dad that I'd never talked to before. And all of a sudden, talking to him about my mum, I just had all these light bulb moments go off about what she did with my sister. You know, why she did that with my sister. And all of a sudden, I could see the love behind it that I couldn't see before. And this was just a conversation with a stranger, someone I'd never talked to before. And yet he gave me that wonderful gift in that 30 minutes that we might have been chatting. I just thought, oh, I felt so much better that day. And came home thinking, how wonderful, what a gift, thank you. You know, thank you. So the idea is to take the tools, take the skills. Once you've got them, once you can feel a healing process take over, and you can see it in yourself and you can understand it in yourself, then you start to apply it everywhere. And you know, you'll be talking to people, you'll be interacting with people, and each one of them, they will always have a gift for you. You know, either to remind you of your spirit, of how special you are, you know, or to give you some clarity about something in your life that you weren't quite seeing yet, you couldn't quite pin it, you know. I'm happy to keep making videos. If you have ideas, if you have something that you really want to talk about, you really need a subject covered, I'm happy to bring it up, cover it in some videos, give you some ideas of where you can go with it that pulls you away from feeling bad. Because we can't live a life of meaning and be connected until we can stop feeling bad. Once we can stop that, then we can, you know, we're happy to be with others. We're happy to share who we are. We're happy to hear about them, what they have to say, what they have to share. We're not closed off to the world because we're living in shame, or we're living in guilt, or we're living, you know, feeling that we're not good enough. So we don't want to, you know, I spent most of my, it's funny, I spent most of my primary school reading books. Okay, not wanting to connect to other kids at school. I had my cousins on the weekend. I knew what connecting was, but all through school, no friends. All through primary school, right? High school was a different story. And then, funny enough, I went into my adult years, and living here in Australia, it's a big cultural thing, you know, the drinking. And I'm not a big drinker. I'll try, you know, when I was young, in my 20s, right? I'd try and have one drink, maybe two, and I get a headache straight away. And I'm like, what's the fun in that, right? When I feel crap after 2 drinks. And even though I drink water to try and wash it down, but I'm like, there's no point. To me, if it's not fun, if it doesn't make me feel good, I'm like, I'm watching everyone else be silly and have a good time, and I'm thinking, well, it's not for me. I'm not even gonna, you know, pursue it because it's just not working. And I kind of felt like I had nothing in common with the other adults around me, because I'm like, well, I can't do that. I can't drink until I'm blotto, and then I've got no idea of what's going on, and, go into that world. And so, for the longest time I'd be in these environments and I just didn't know how to connect. I felt dysfunctional because they'd all be off in their little world drinking and carrying on and being silly and happy and doing their own thing, and I'd be like, I was the only one that, was like sober. And I'm thinking, okay, how does this even work? For the longest time I could connect to children. I had that gift. As I was teaching piano, at least I could connect to them. I could see their little spirits and we could talk. And then I just thought I wasn't good with grown-ups. I just thought, well, maybe that's not my skill. That's not my gift. And then I don't have to be good at everything. I've learned to accept that. Yeah, I'm happy with what I'm good at. And I was really good with kids. I'd be at a park, way before my daughter was born. I'd be wherever I was. I'd always have kids come and talk to me randomly, just because they'd look over to me and smile, and I'd smile back, and then all of a sudden they'd have to come and share a story with me, and I'd be like, okay, I didn't want the parents thinking it was creepy because I don't have my own kids, and they probably think, who is this person, But if a child looks at me and smiles, I can't just look away and ignore them. They obviously, to me, it's like not acknowledging that they're there. There's a little spirit there. There's a soul that's trying to communicate with you. And I just felt, to me, it was crushing to me to ignore them, as children. And so I've always made time to talk to a child if it had to talk to me. And with adults, I found it took me a really, really long time. I was very disconnected with adults because I just didn't know how to interact with them. I just didn't know, how to connect. I couldn't see how to. Well, now it's so obvious, but way back, most of my 20s and going through my 30s, I didn't know how to with adults. I just found it too complicated for me. A child was very simple. A child will tell you if they like something, they don't like something, if they think you're ugly, if they think your nose is too big, if they think, whatever. They will just tell you what they see. There's no filter with a child mostly. So they're easy to deal with. But with adults, when there's so much going on and you're trying to work out what's the truth of it, what is it you're trying to tell me? I found it too hard. And I had my own issues as well. I had my own stuff to deal with, and I was angry with most of the world, and I was, in this place of, I just had this anger. I just didn't know why I was angry all the time. I had moments of joy. It wasn't anger like, 100% of the time, but it was with me. Like I'd notice it pop up occasionally and I'd be like, it's still there. I'm still angry. And even though I thought I'd resolved certain issues going through, it still popped up. And even after I had my daughter that I thought was going to be the miracle, that was going to set it all right, and I was never going to be anything but love and joy, it never came. Because she wasn't it. What I was looking for was not outside of me. It wasn't in a child. It wasn't in my husband. It wasn't in my dog. It wasn't in my parents. I wasn't going to get it from outside of me. That joy and that peace that I was looking for. And once I understood why I was angry, that was the most important step. Understanding where the anger came from. There's plenty of videos on that, previous videos. So, I'm not here to talk about mine. I'm here to help you with yours. To understand why you're sad, why you're angry, why you're afraid, why you feel guilty, why you feel ashamed, all these things. Why? Understand the why, and it will all fall into place. I promise. All right, my darlings. I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe below so you don't miss any of the messages, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.